The Tale of Faustus.
Lord John Harding was a nobleman who lived in the city of Cracow. He was considered an odd man, for by day he studied great books of knowledge, but at night revelled in the taverns around the market square. Whoever had the chance to meet Harding from the first moment liked him. Only his wife did not appreciate his wit and ingenuity. She was an austere and devout woman who, like most wives, often became angry and shouted at her husband. One day, the neighbours heard a loud and familiar voice coming from the home of the Hardings.
I carry the whole weight of our house on my shoulders. Your foolish behavior will drive me to an early grave. All day you pore over books, and at night you revel God knows where. But what am I saying? To associate the name of God with your eccentricities is a sin. Even the devil knows it!
Harding usually paid no attention to his wife's cries. In fact, it seemed he did not even hear them. But this time it was different. He opened the door, embraced his wife, and kissed her.
Of course, even the devil knows it.
Then, leaving behind a stunned Lady Harding, he ran out of the house and paced the streets of the market square, repeating to himself,
Exactly. The devil knows. The devil.
It should be noted that Harding was a highly educated man in many fields of study. He had a thorough knowledge of natural history, medicine, physics, mathematics, astrology. One thing he did not know, however, how to make man immortal. So much did he love life that at all costs he needed to know the greatest mystery of all, the secret of life and death.
For years I have been striving to create a miraculous elixir of eternal life, but to no avail. But since science has so far brought me nothing, I will use magic, and even solicit the help of the king of demons himself, Beelzebub. I am sure that he knows the secret of life and death. He must know it.
Thus, mumbling under his breath, he walked into an inn. He sat at the table of his drinking companions, who were already there waiting for him with many mugs of beer. And like every night, the revellers enjoyed themselves, joking and drinking pitcher after pitcher of beer. Usually, John Harding was the life and soul of the party. But this time his mind was elsewhere. He sat there impassively, staring blankly into nothing. But his mind was racing with all sorts of scientific plans. Unsurprisingly, the party ended earlier than usual and all retired home. The next day, there were many changes at the Hardings. First of all, John Harding no longer caroused at night. He brought into his study dozens of books on black magic, which he read voraciously day and night. Initially, his wife was delighted.
My husband has finally come to his senses and settled down. He doesn't drink from tavern to tavern anymore.
But when a full month had gone by, she began to worry. Harding's behaviour from day to day had become increasingly strange. He would go down to the cellar, where he would chase and catch rats, locking them up in cages. Of even greater concern to Lady Harding was the smell of sulphur, which would waft out from under her husband's study door. Gaunt and pale as a shadow, Harding rarely ventured out of the house. His wife would have been even more worried had she really known what was going on in his study. Harding sat at a table, loaded with a collection of bottles and vials, and his eyes shone with madness. In the room, there was also a large cauldron in which the master of magic stirred, blended, and heated the potion prepared from the rats' tails. One Saturday night, the smell of sulphur from the room where Harding worked became particularly strong, and the smoke thicker than usual. As if hypnotized, Harding uttered magic spells and added a powder of his own concoction to the brew. Every time he did so, flares and flashes illuminated the room. Suddenly, as he carefully added a third dose of powder, something quivered in the cauldron. A deafening roar shook the windows throughout the house. In an instant, the devil himself appeared and stood before Harding. The devil was exactly as one would imagine him, with a small pointy beard and a moustache, jet black eyes, 2 small horns on his head, and a long tail. He was dressed in a well-cut black tailcoat with gold buttons, red trousers and black boots.
My respects, your lordship Harding.
Hello?
I'm Mephistopheles, Beelzebub's right hand. Sire, why have you conjured me? Do you have a request that only the devil can meet?
Yes, indeed, sir. Reveal to me the secret of life and death. Tell me, can a man live forever?
I will explain everything. Let us sit down. Here we will be most comfortable. In answer to your question, I will make you an offer that no man can refuse. You will discover the greatest secrets if you do exactly as I ask.
What must I do?
Merely a trifle. It's very simple. We will draft a pledge, I answer your question, and you give me a soul in return.
But wait, Mephisto. The instant I give my soul away to the devil, I will die. Isn't that right?
Well, I suppose so.
Well then, what's the point in learning the secret when, after death, I will know everything anyway?
Well, if you sign the pledge, I will let you enjoy your earthly lifetime a little more. You will revel in the taverns and perform your experiments until the day you visit Rome. There, you shall hand over your soul to me, whereupon I will lift it high up in the sky, so high that you will see the gates of heaven. Then, I will go back to hell with a trophy worthy of Mephistopheles. That is your sinful soul. I will lend you my power. I will fulfill all your wishes. Sign, and until your fateful day in Rome, I will be your faithful servant, yeah.
All right, I agree.
The subject of the contract was the soul of the Honourable Lord John Harding, a nobleman from Cracow, which the devil, Mephistopheles, Beelzebub's right hand, will have the right to acquire pursuant to 2 conditions. Primo, Mephistopheles is to reveal to Harding the secret of life and death. Secundo, Mephistopheles undertakes to serve Harding until the day when he appears in Rome. The last paragraph stated that in Rome, the ownership of the soul of John Harding, a nobleman from Cracow, would be transferred to the devil Mephistopheles, Beelzebub's right hand. Harding read the pledge again, pricked his ring finger with the nib of a pen, and signed both copies in his own blood. Meanwhile, Lady Harding, hearing the voice of a stranger in the study, began knocking on the door, but her husband would not open. Increasingly worried, she called upon two strong neighbours to break the door down. But when they broke in, it was too late. The pledge had been signed. Mephistopheles stood in the centre of the room with a triumphant smile, and in the presence of the terrified wife and neighbours, he addressed Harding.
As to the secret of death, you, my Lord Harding, after death you will burn in hell.
At these words, he slipped his copy of the agreement into a breast pocket, bowed low, and in one moment had vanished. Lady Harding vigorously set about to remove any trace of the demonic visit. She made the sign of the cross, opened all the windows to get rid of the sulphur fumes and clouds of smoke, lit candles, and ran to her room to fetch some holy water, which she sprinkled about her husband's study. Having done this, she grabbed the pledge from the table.
The secret of death? So this is why you've been studying all these books? Yet even the smallest child knows that after death, good souls go to heaven, live there forever, but evil ones suffer eternal torment in hell. Our priest talks about it from his pulpit every Sunday, and you, instead of listening to him, you have wasted years studying obscure books and performing black magic?
Oh, woe is me. I've been deceived by the devil. What will become of me now?
Lady Harding read the pledge again and wept as well. It was difficult to reconcile that the man with whom she was eternally bound by the holy sacrament of marriage was guilty of such a terrible sin.
You cannot break a pledge with the devil, but you must rely on the mercy of God. And for the rest of your days, you must try to keep the demons at bay with good deeds.
Having said these words, she left her husband's study. Harding was troubled and did not want to be alone. He followed his wife into the bedroom, threw himself on the bed and fell asleep. However, he slept fitfully, moaning and sobbing. His soul was tormented, his conscience in anguish. When he awoke, he started thinking about how easily he had been duped by the devil, and how wise the words of his wife had been.